Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
We're number six.
We're number six. We're number six. So we just came back yesterday from the Mercury 100 event, which is Boulder County's 100 fastest growing firms. And we are number 6 in our weight class. I'll say weight class.
Private companies. Yep, exactly.
Yep. So last year we were in the lowest tier. Then we got third in the lowest tier. So it's basically by revenue, right? So it goes up from probably like $500,000.
I'll tell you. Companies, so you can have zero. Obviously, you wouldn't make any money. You wouldn't even be on the list, right? But the first tier is they call them flights. So we were in flight 5 last year, and that's with private companies that have a revenue between $0 and $600,000, and then gross revenue. And so,
this is from a couple years back because they do every 2 years.
Yep. So they take your revenue year over year over the course of 2 years.
Yep. So then this year we moved up in a flight, but moved down in rankings. But as long as we keep moving up in flights, I am totally okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah. We didn't. I predicted going into the banquet last night that we would be at number 7. We ended up being number 6, which is super cool because if we would have went up, it's awesome that we just moved up another flight. But then the fact that we were still in the top 10, I think is good to go.
So I showed up late. Did I miss anything?
You actually didn't show up late. You showed up 2 minutes after me. And
are you serious?
Yeah.
Because in the office,
I know
you gave me just a dirty stank look.
Oh, you're not, wasn't that bad.
You're not showing up at 5:30 on the dot. I go, you're showing up at 5:30 on the dot,
crazy?
and you looked at me and you said on the dot.
Do you remember what I? So here's what blew my mind. So time blows my mind. I swear I left the office at 4:15 yesterday. Then
4:45 you left.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like it just keeps creeping. So then I ironed my shirt and got all dressed, put my suit on, and then I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh shoot, it's 5:15.
Do you know how?
I guess I'm gonna be late, and so I didn't get there till 5:45 ish. No, it was 6. I got there at 6,
and I got there at 6:08.
Yeah. So but like when I got there, nobody was speaking. I got a drink, sat down, drinking food, and sat down, and then you came, and so like you missed like a minute.
I haven't seen
honestly
you
missed a minute
in a suit in so long. So when you stood up, I know I can't remember. You stood up and you were waving like both hands at me.
Oh yeah,
like,
you're looking right at me. Couldn't see me.
I was looking at. I was like, why is that guy waving at me? Because I don't know that guy.
Nah,
you should be waving at someone else. So I looked at you for like 20 seconds. I was like, oh,
probably since I got married.
Yeah.
Last time you saw me in a suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I was your officiant.
I got a question. So that was a cool event. Just to see how much money some people are making, and then like there was other companies that maybe there's a couple of instances like this one company who makes shoes. They make these shoes that feel like they
zero shoes.
Zero shoes. Yeah, with like an X, so it's pronounced like that. I think they made $1 million last year. That was their total gross revenue, and then they won an award. They were in the top 5, and then they went and made like 2.2 this next year. Like to see that kind of growth from these people and their companies it's astounding. But then at the same time, even though we didn't win or anything like that, man, when you're surrounded with that many people that have that kind of success, you can't help but just feel pumped up and be like, we need to do more.
Yeah,
we need to do more. So
exactly.
Even if you're listening to this and you're wondering, if I would encourage any other business owners who, if you're obviously outside of Colorado, go try to find something like this. And even if you're not winning awards or the networking isn't happening for you at these places, which you can network with people, and we've gotten work in a roundabout way because of it, like the one we did last year. But if nothing else, it's just a good motivator.
And then the place to look is if there's a business newspaper or journal, they'll probably be hosting.
This one is called Biz West. Yeah. So if you just Google Biz West, BIZ West. Look for that, and then I bet there's something similar for you, like Biz East or something. Maybe there's a Biz East, Biz North, Biz South. I have no idea. I honestly haven't looked, but see if you can find something, because, like I said, if nothing else, man, just seeing how people are doing things, and it's amazing.
And we didn't show up early, so we didn't get to do our networking. But last year we got our new accountant. This year we talked with some electrical guys that we might work with, and we got to talk shop with some other architects and basically confirm, like, hey, is the county making you do this? Yep. So it was good overall.
You're
Stole
on a
some
list.
flowers for my wife.
Yeah, you're on a list. We got a little plaque. Last year we got like this. I'm actually holding it. I know nobody can see it, but it's like this just cool list of the top 20. It's the list of flight and like how much where we were at, and it's got a little star right next to our name. It says number 3, and then we got another little 8.5 by 11 thing that we're gonna frame. But it's good press too, because then you can post it on all your social media, pin it to the top of your thing. Like, people are going to, clients, again, they're going to research you, right? They should research you. They're going to look up who you are, what you do. And if you have those kind of accolades behind you, it just makes you look like you know what the heck you're doing. And that you're a solid company. And like, let's say, because some of these developers are hiring you from a year to 2 years. I think they don't want you to go like, oh, I want to make sure I'm hiring somebody who's going to be around and is stable.
And then 2 other things. I have the flyer that I'm going to contact a bunch of the construction companies there.
Al was taking notes the whole time.
Yep. It's either in my car or at my house. And then 2, the companies that I want to reach back out to, the developers I want to reach back out to, I'm going to say, hey, we moved up a flight in, Biz West, and it's partly thanks to you.
Wonderful.
It's another excuse
Wonderful.
to reach back out, blah, blah, blah. We look to continuous success in the future.
Yeah. The only bad part was Al had to have 2 Coors Lights.
Yeah. I was okay with it, though. I thought, I looked around because it's Colorado Boulder. No one else was drinking generic beer.
And just for why? Because this is craft beer, like, central.
Yeah.
Like, there are still, and this blew my mind too, is like, there's still starting up craft breweries here in Colorado, even though it's insanely saturated, and people are making a ton of money out of it too.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. And I don't drink, but I gave myself.
You deserved
permission.
it.
I deserved it.
Look at you, moving up flights and whatnot, stealing flowers for your wife.
Exactly.
They told us we could steal them, by the way.
Yeah. But I did take them from a random table.
Yeah.
But no one was around, so it's all fair, and they're all gone. I was going to bed a couple nights ago, if you can believe it.
I don't even know you sleep anymore.
That is
how
funny.
How do you get it done? How do you get it all done? Don't sleep.
And for some reason, I flashed back to basic training. I was mad at myself because I did fine in it. I did awesome in it. I rocked basic training.
Did you throw up?
No, and that's
Never?
why I was upset.
Wow.
Not even like after getting gassed and all that stuff. I rolled and throw up, but it was other people.
Oh my Lord. Oh no.
But I was sitting there because there's some stuff in basic training I'm real proud of, but I won't. That will be like an offshoot. But anyways, I remember one time going when you do runs. So in the morning, you either do like it's a run day or it's like a physical day in the morning. So 4 a.m. you get ready and you start out, right? And in your running groups, you can be in A, B, or C group, right? And then I was always in B group, and I was sitting there. I don't know why this came up, but I was like, man, I ran A group once, and I was just tired.
You ran what once?
A group.
Okay.
So it's like
A group.
the fastest drill sergeants takes the fastest guys.
Sure.
Second fastest guys is B group and then C group. And I just stuck in B group, and I regretted it. And maybe this is a question of like some people say, I have no regrets. If you have no regrets, I don't know if you've critically looked at your past enough. And maybe that's just me because I know of a couple.
I think it's good. I think it's good to strive to not have any regrets. But yes, if you aren't looking back at like dumb crap that you've said or done or let yourself down, or didn't do or let yourself down,
yeah,
absolutely.
So, anyways, in my head while I was going to sleep, I was like, man, I really regret. This is a minor regret. I have bigger regrets, of course, but not running an A group. Like, why didn't I run an A group? Why didn't I push it? Because like, man, I felt like I could have been even more just like, it wasn't very Jocko of me to be in B group. And then even if I couldn't handle it, even if I was struggling the whole time, like, who cares? I was 18, 17, I was 17. Like, who cares? Why does that matter? And then I think, okay, how can I apply that to today? So now I'm older, 33, right? And I run and do push-ups and sit-ups and all that other stuff. And so running, I run twice. I run Tuesday, just 2 miles, and then Sunday I run like a 10K. And I go, man, if I really push myself on Sunday, I think I'm going to hate it. I think I'm not going to like it because that's I'm already tired, and I take it as a break because Friday when I get off work, it's like family time. All Friday, Saturday is all day family time, and then my Sunday run is like Al time. Like I'll listen to podcasts. I'll stop whenever I want. I'll write down a note.
Nice.
So I think, okay, maybe I won't do that, but maybe on Tuesday nights I can run my butt off. If it's only 2 miles, who cares? Just get after it. And I think like, okay, maybe I can up my push-up game too. And this is a challenge to anyone who sees me at any events in the future. If you want to challenge me to push-ups,
I love it.
go ahead.
I love it.
We're on it doesn't matter where, like Vegas, AIA convention, whatever.
Wow.
Let's get it on, people.
Mm-hmm. I hope Jocko runs into you.
Oh, this is for architecture people. This is not for. So remember that if you see me out there. But so I have my Tuesday, and here's my question: like, doing your best. And then I kept thinking, like, man, what if I feel like I'm trying to do my best in a bunch of things, but I'm also dropping the ball. And there's a difference between not doing more. I don't want this thought pattern to be, oh, do more, do more, do more. I don't think I need to do more. I think I need to focus on areas like that Tuesday run and do my best. And then I thought, like, okay, what could I do? What one thing I could pick at work that I could do better on? So I have an answer for me, but I want to ask you and throw you on the hot fire. Is there anything personally that you could go, man, just that one thing I could do better? And then professionally, is there one thing that you could say, I could do, I'm already taking the time. I'm already taking the time to run. I'm already taking the time to do things at work. What could I say? I'm weak on this, and I could do better, and Jocko would be proud. Because I know that's what you're thinking.
Exactly. That's the only thing I think about ever is Jocko.
Yeah.
Just constantly, nonstop about it.
Do you want him to say mine while you think?
Personally, what I could do better? I'll tell you something that's that's immediate. Okay. I could keep my vehicle a lot more tidy and clean, and that goes all the way back to Jordan Peterson's clean your room idea. If you have a clean house, you have a clean room, you have a clean office. It's not so much about criticizing the world or anything like that. But I think if you aren't living it, then you can't. Then it just starts with clean living, and being organized. Because then I think discipline equals freedom, right? It's that whole thing. So
I do think that's above and beyond.
It's honestly been killing me for the last couple of weeks, where I'm like, why haven't I stopped and done that? So one thing I did yesterday was, and maybe this is kind of where I'm getting at for everybody, is I know everybody's got these little tasks where they're like, oh shoot, I forgot once again I forgot dog food. Or like, oh man, I was gonna get socks yesterday. Totally spaced it out. All right, now why didn't I just do it? Immediately when you think, why haven't I done it? Or like, I should have done it, do it. How about that? So yesterday, my check, it said, you need an oil change or something popped up.
Yep.
And I go, screw it. I just got out of a meeting. This was literally in the morning. And I go, I can work. I got my laptop. I can work. I got my son. I got my dog. We're going right now. And I called them immediately, got my oil changed, done. And I honestly had to do it because we're going on a trip this weekend, a family trip for Father's Day weekend. So I was so to me, that's where it is I think that'd be my big piece of advice personally for everybody today is, if you have this stupid little ticking thing that happens and you're just like, dang it, I forgot again. As soon as you have that moment of, dang it, I forgot again, do it.
Yeah. So I'll let you think about professional while I tack onto that. So that is even above and beyond mine, which I think it's fine because I just sprung this on you, because I don't want people to think that this is about adding something more on. Because, I could say, oh, I'm going to get up early or add this, but man, I got a baby. I'm tired. I like to, sleep until 5. So I'm all good.
5 a.m. Look at this guy.
on that. Well, Eric, by 40, is always waking up at 4:30, throwing it in my face once. He didn't, but I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
So my wife, this is hilarious. Jocko says extreme ownership.
Yep.
And extreme ownership is you take responsibility, even for stuff that you don't think is your fault.
Okay.
Right? So I come home and she asked me to pick up 3 things. I obviously only picked up 2 things that she wanted, and one of them was not the right brand. Right?
Ooh, you are in trouble.
So I hand that to her. she tells me to leave the kitchen and leave her alone. And then I go play with the kid. I'm like, okay, I just got to take. She's told me multiple times, like that I always forget. And she asked me to bring this up. And then she comes and we're eating dinners. And she goes, you bringing up stuff. She goes, you want to know what I realized? I go, what? I'm like, here it comes. She goes, it was my fault. If I really wanted, if it was that important to me, I should have
got it
earlier. I should have went and got it and all that. And I was like, you just got Jocko. I was so happy I wasn't in trouble, but two, I was so happy too that she's just like, no, not that it should be her fault. I obviously should pick up if she sends me a list of 3 things. I mean, how hard is that, right? But it was just like, I hope the world is turning this way.
This little podcast that we do, Al, is almost like a confessional for both of us. In that, I think what it's done for me, and especially you too, I would include you in this, is like we talk and then we realize, oh crap, we should be doing that, and then we do it and we facilitate that. So I hope that's what it becomes for other people too, as they go, yeah, I need to just do it. I need to just get it done. And especially when it comes to anything personal personal butting right up to professional stuff. You got to have it's not even a balance. It's an integrated life, kind of like what Mark talks about with the Entre Architect community, where you're having an integrated life. So like Kyler's been here all week with me, hanging out, and like, nope, you're just coming to work with Dad, and you're going to the meetings, and you're gonna listen to the stupid stuff he listens to on the way to and from work.
Yep.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna eat lunch together, and it's been a lot better. So I don't have like how you were saying at the beginning, you've had like a little bit of guilt, or you felt, or you had some regret about something.
Yeah.
One of my regrets at the beginning of the summer, it was like, oh man, like my oldest biological son is just hanging out at home, like doing nothing. And if I don't just make him come with me.
Oh, he's not going to say, hey, Dad, I want to come and sit by you at work. And he's not going to say
So I've made him come for the last week and a half, and it's been great.
Yeah. Okay, professional. What's one thing that you're already doing that you can do better?
That I'm already doing that I can do better.
And I'll say mine while you're thinking about it.
Okay.
So mine is, I already do it all right, and I already spend the time. But communicating when I have a job from the client or a new project, and communicating that to the guys. So they just went up and they measured this huge building up. And then I know that I forgot to tell them, hey, look in the ceilings, get the ceiling height to the bottom of it. I just forgot. I just didn't say that, right? And then now if one of F9's principles is shorten that feedback loop, right? So everything from getting notes back from the city to the clients. Now, either we have to redo it or I'll have to redo it or whatever. It just would have been cleaner to basically have and then set the precedence for them. Hey, guys, we're taking detailed notes. We're going over everything verbally. We're asking questions because then when you do it, then maybe you will follow my lead and it'll be better instead of having to mess up a couple times, and then finally pick it up. So that's mine. Communicate better. Communicate better. And that goes from reviews, red lines, everything.
Yeah. I think for me it is, I just started it again this week. Is I got our Google AdWords back up and going again. I think it is advertising F9 through social media. I could be doing a better job of that. I could be promote. How about this? Promoting the firm better on the web. I think we have a good web presence, but I've kind of let it regress to just be sort of passive, where the Thumbtack site is up and it's just passive and it's working well. I'm not complaining about it and stuff like that. We've gotten some really great referrals lately, but I think I'm just like too comfortable with that part of it.
Nice.
And going out there. And I know we've talked about this before. Like, why aren't we, even like say like off social media or off the internet, why haven't we contacted these realtors and try to do a lunch and learn where we say, hey, here's what we do. Coldwell Banker, we'll come in, we'll talk, we'll buy lunch for everybody. Here's what we do. Do you ever need an architect?
Or these builders that are growing like crazy. Like they're probably looking, in Colorado, there's not enough people to do the work. So if you can get a hold of the right people, and if they're looking for what you do, and you do it well, you should be able to get more work.
Yeah.
But just
my problem though is just carving the time out for it now, and because like all day yesterday, you heard me over and over again say the same thing, called like 30 subcontractors. So I just don't know if I have the time.
Yeah.
We'll see. But okay, here you go. There it is. Maybe it's just like, okay, I thought about it. I didn't do it. Now I need to do it type
There
of thing.
you go. Look
And
at
just
that.
jump on
Matching
it.
personal.
Matching
and,
it. Personal, yep. I got a question for you since you put me on the spot.
Okay, cool.
I won't name the jurisdiction, but I think it's worth bringing up. Somehow we're getting sort of recommended by a building department for jobs. So there's just some developers, like they'll buy a piece of land and then they'll do their little sketch and then they'll have a pre-application meeting, no architect involved, and they just kind of show like, hey, I want to do like 10 units on this piece of land that I bought in your city, and the city goes back to them. You might just give these guys a ring. They're not saying they're good or bad. They just So it's really interesting that there is a building department or two that we have worked with that are doing that now. So my question to you is, what do you think we're doing right, and what would you tell other people to try to recommend to them to do right, so that they could potentially do this in the future with literally a freaking building department is saying, yeah, give these guys a call. It's incredible.
Yeah. And so Lance is asking me because it's coming from one of two or both of two, a medium-sized project and then a big project that we've done in this city. And I'll start off with what I really think it is. I think when we get comments from the city, and because there's always these sticking points, right? There's fire landing issues, there's height issues, there's window transparency issues, there's stuff like that. And every time I got a comment like that back from the city, my response was like, I tried to have a sick obsession with clarity, meaning like, oh, it is hard to misinterpret this. Oh, where are the downspouts? Oh, there's a sheet just with downspouts. Oh, DS, downspouts, that's it, this whole sheet. And I'm not saying to blow up your set or anything, because we've seen sets for houses that are
interior elevations of walls with nothing on them.
Yep, exactly. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not clear. That's making them page through a whole bunch of, oh, what's on this page? Nothing? Why does it exist? So clarity even means elimination. Oh, we don't need that? Eliminate that. And the reason why is that if you think about the city, like they know that there's these issues every time. They have to solve these issues, right? So it's like, oh, are they going to meet the height requirements? Are they going to meet the bulk planes? And then all of a sudden this firm comes around and I'm like, oh, they make it super clear. They make it, they're thinking, what's my job? And then how we can communicate that. So I think that's number one. And then that ties in back to number two of what I said before, is then with the building department trying to get a hold of the code official saying, what are your concerns? What are your comments? What is all that? And then preempting it, thinking about what is their job and then how do you best communicate it? So a lot of times, and this is right, your client is your client. Now shift that focus. Your client is the city. And that's where I think maybe that's the only reason I can say.
I like it. No, I like it. I think if exactly. So shifting your mind from, there's two clients here really, right? There's the client, and then the city is kind of your client in the sense that you are serving them in the way you're exhibiting the project that you're tackling, that you're designing.
Yep. And then we've already talked about this. The contractor is your client too. So the structural plans where they can get messy as just crazy. Okay, is there a clean 3D view with what they want to know is, because they'll look and find the dimensions, but what are the heights? As long as they can understand that first, then they can just look for the dimensions, and they're going to disregard everything else because they're only setting up formwork, right? So those are your three: the client, the contractor, and the city. Is that 3 C's?
3 C's.
Look at that.
CCC, triple C.
Yep.
Yeah. So we don't have our bestie because we failed, because we're recording this one day early because I'm going out of town for Father's Day. So it's going to be Al reads.
So instead of Al reads, can I just do my best impression of Nick?
Sure. Here we go.
Hello, best friends. A reading. So before I do a reading, though, since I'm Nick, I'm going to tell a story.
You got shorter, too. What the heck?
That's not possible. I'm already very, very short. So, breaking character. Nick talks to us all the time. And he told us a story that I don't think he'd share minding. I won't go into numbers or anything. But a client said, hey, Nick, you're twice as high as the next bid and 4 times as high as the low bid. So me being Nick, who I am.
Yeah. What did you say?
I said, they're no competition of mine.
I love it. I love it. Stick to your guns.
So me being Nick, something like that in a nice way. And I did not lower my bid. And then went on my merry way, probably skipping along the beach like I do, merrily.
Of course. Yep.
Gingerly.
Thinking about guac. Yep.
And thinking that I just lost a client. Lo and behold, I did not. And I got the project.
Fantastic. Stick to your guns. You know what you're worth. Yeah. Congratulations. Absolutely. Congratulations to you, Nick.
Nick Renard.
There you go.
Okay. Back to a reading. This is from Originals, Adam Grant. When we bemoan the lack of originality in the world, we blame it on the absence of creativity. If only people could generate more novel ideas, we'd all be better off. But in reality, the biggest barrier to originality is not idea generation, it's idea selection. Now part 2. Rick Dane finds that the more expertise and experience people gain, the more entrenched they become in a particular way of viewing the world. He points to studies showing that expert bridge players struggle more than novices to adapt when the rules are changed, and that expert accountants are worse than novices when applying new tax laws. As we gain knowledge about a domain, we become prisoners of our own prototypes. Alexa, play Turn Down for What? Doodles!
Oh, that Nick, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is so
He's
good.
hilarious. What a good guy. I love him.
What did you think?
God, you do get entrenched in a way of thinking when you become an expert 100%, and it's hard to break from it. And but I'm still convinced the way we can do it and the way I want to do it is after the development is done, we're going to run head first as fast as we can towards 3D printing buildings. And I'm not joking. And that's where it's like, but the only way, and it's going to require us to be completely uncomfortable with how things are built traditionally. And you and I talked about it on the way home from fishing in detail. Like, yeah, you can't get bogged down in this. Well, it's got to be done this way. It's got to be done that way. I mean, I think you really got to beg the question, like, you are wiping the slate clean if we're ever going to get this 3D printing revolution to happen with buildings.
And there's a pro and con to experience. And somehow you need to keep a fresh perspective. I think we've done that all right. I'll tell you one failing on our project, our development project up north. We were talking with the civil. And one of the first ideas was, why don't we tilt up the whole back of the site, put a retaining wall along the property line, and drain it all towards the front? And I said, nope, can't do that. And I can't remember if I explained why, but the reason why was in other cities, if you have a retaining wall on your property, and if it's going to fall over, so if it's 4 feet high, you have to have it 4 feet back. Anyways, we were talking months and months later and talking to the city, and they're like, oh, we don't care about that. That's not a rule here.
Oh. And we had that entrenched in our brain.
You know what? Exactly.
Man, they don't care about that there.
Don't you remember us being in the city?
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't know how, because you can't, with experience, re-question everything. Because then you're just not bringing your experience to the project.
Exactly, and you're just spinning your wheels, and I think you took 1 step forward and 2 steps back, right? Something like that, or even just 1 step forward, 1 step back. Like, what? You're not even going anywhere.
Yeah. So I don't know if I have a solution except stay nimble. And then here's the other thing too is, okay, communicate what you want done, which is I need to improve on. But you need to balance that with letting them take ownership of the project, right? So let's say I say, hey, we're going to lay out a new site, right? And I might communicate. Make sure you have all the setbacks, all the bulk planes, and all the landscape buffers. But don't tell them what they are. You go re-look it up, find it up. You know what I mean?
I got a question for you.
Re-examine it.
So wouldn't that, think about your experience with this retaining wall. So one city has told us over and over again, nope, we got to have it 4 feet. If it's 4 feet tall, it'll be 4 feet away. It's got to fall on your property. Now all of a sudden you have this lesson learned about, art, the city we operate in. Nope, they actually allow that. They don't care. That's okay. Wow. Isn't that adding to your experience where you go, well, my experience now is ask about retaining walls.
Yeah.
Know that it's not hard and fast. Therefore, it's added to my experience.
Here's a question. So you might be doing a project in the city that we just talked about. One of the rules is you cannot change grading within 10 feet of the property line. Now, we had a huge site, one of my projects, so we could get away with that. You have a skinny site. That might take up a third of your site. So just be aware and you need to ask, hey, is this a rule on these skinny sites? Because how can you have a site that's only 40 feet wide and 20 of it's taken up? I'm making up numbers, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
So
interesting. There you go. Experience matters. What do we got next, Al?
Bring in the guys for A.R.E. Jeopardy. All right, here we go. Question number 1. The typical clear space for a wheelchair is A, 25 by 43, B, 26 by 44, C, 36 by 48, D, 30 by 48. Do you need that again?
So, is this radius or approach? Or
Nope, just
Clear
the
space.
floor space of a wheelchair. A, 25 by 43, B, 26 by 44, C, 36 by 48, D, 30 by 48. Okay, what do we got? D. Everyone is correct.
Wow, correct.
30 by 48. Awesome.
You guys are gangsters.
Yep.
A.R.E. gangsters.
All right. Question number 2. The acronym CD usually stands for what in the architectural profession? A, communicable disease. B, construction documents. C, contract documents. D, compact disc. All right. B. You all are wrong. It is C.
Aha.
Contract document.
Tricky.
That was a trick question.
So, in order to find that, don't you have to read the AIA, professional practice pamphlet that they have, something like that?
Yeah, and everyone calls them construction documents.
Right.
So it's just, yeah.
Silly.
Lance.
Okay. Number 3, soil that is easily crumbled or reduced to a powder is known as A, soil, B, friable, C, sand, D, dirt. Soil that is easily crumbled or reduced to powder is known as A, soil, B, friable, C, sand, D, dirt. I saw some. B.
A.
B is correct. Friable.
Wait. Who
That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, an adjective. Because everything else was a noun, right? Okay, 4. What is the distance from floor to floor or the height of a flight of stairs from one landing to another known as? A, story, B, level height, C, rise, D, flight height. What is the distance from floor to floor or the height of a flight of stairs from one landing to another known as? A, story, B, level height, C, rise, D, flight height.
Is this a trick question? Is this straightforward? You do not know.
You don't know. You don't know. What do you got? What do we got? D.
C, D.
The correct answer is C, rise.
One person was not happy. One person was very happy.
Very happy. Crotch chops all the way around. There you go. All right. That wraps up A.R.E. Jeopardy.
All right, Lance. Thanks to everyone for that A.R.E. Jeopardy. If you were going to learn Revit, what kind of ship would you take?
I would take a rocket.
Oh, man, that's great because there's a website called Revit Rocket Ship where we train you in Revit. We train you the right way. We give you all the tools, all the templates, everything that we've developed in our firm, we give to you so you start out with a lift. It's me doing the video, so your ears will be delighted. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely delightful.
And you'll have a leg up because we practice architecture and we use Revit all the time, basically exclusively. So this has been, that feedback loop has really been narrowed down on this, and you'll enjoy it. So RevitRocketship.com to get your Revit training. Lance, what do you got?
Just want to say thanks to everybody who's supported and listened to this podcast. If you have a special episode that you like, please share it with somebody. Please leave us a 5-star review. If you're thinking about a 4-star review, just put 5 stars right on top of that and leave it there. And then if you do leave a 5-star review on iTunes, which you can do right in the app now, which is fantastic, then please email akg@f9productions.com and he will send you a free PDF copy of his book, The Creativity Code.